Good afternoon again, YouTube. So this is my second live update of the day. Hopefully it goes a little bit better than the first one. The first one, absolutely nobody watched live because somehow I had it set to private, so nobody could see it live. I was wondering why it was so quiet. Good thing I only did a 10-minute sort of video on there, because what was the point? Hello, how are you? You guys are actually live this time. So I was just, I don't know if you just got here, but obviously you just got here because I'm only been live for 40 seconds. But, so I just spent 10 minutes with you guys and I went live. Maybe you got the notification. I do not send to America. But, so I went live and I'm busy talking and I'm like, it's strange, nobody's on for the first like minute or so. And then a couple minutes go by and nobody's on. And then 5 minutes go by and I'm like, well, I'm already here. I'm started, so I might as well finish. And after 10 minutes of nobody being on my live broadcast, I decided to end my live broadcast because you guys just simply weren't interested, right? And but here's the deal. I had it set to private, so nobody could watch my live broadcast. So anyways, this is going to be called part 2 because I did a 10-minute live broadcast by myself right like 5 minutes ago, so that kind of sucked. But hi guys, I see lots of people on now anyway, so that's good. So in the first live broadcast that nobody could watch because it was private, I showed some Utricularia and I showed some Hoya. Might have showed in Nepenthes, that sort of thing. But anyways, this time around, it's at least you're here this time. So anyways, I can see you guys. I can't show my Edward Sienna because it's stuck in a shelf over here. You guys are on the tripod. I could probably move the tripod a little bit, but you can have a shout out, but botanical interests. Hello. Comments on the screen go by really quickly, just so you know. If I'm like looking over here talking about something, I may not see your comments, so please don't hate me if I don't respond to you guys. And yeah, they go by really quickly. So anyways, I don't know what you guys really want to. I can't do more Darlingtonia guys right now because I brought for the last part of the winter last year, but so I'm going to be bringing my Darlingtonia back inside again. I grew them inside from like January all the way to like September when the weather started getting cool. And then I put them outside to cool down for fall naturally. And now they're outside dormant in a frost-free greenhouse so it doesn't get cold. But I was looking at them this morning actually, and I'm like, these guys need to go back in because there's some seedlings out there. My big main plants are out there, that sort of thing. So I bring the seedlings in anyways to give them a little bit of a jump, a head start, because they grow so slowly. Cobra lilies, Darlingtonia, grow so slow from seed. Hello? What's the time in Canada? What time is it in Canada? Well, I'm on the West Coast, so I don't know what time it is right now. It's like noon probably. I'm same time as California, Pacific Standard Time. So Canada is a very big country, right? So I'm sure on the East Coast it's like 4 o'clock, but here it's probably like noon. I'm curious how you keep cephalotus happy. Cephalotus are finicky things. I was just looking at my cephalotus. I have some over here, and I have a tray of 18 pots of cephalotus over here, and one of the cephalotus in the very center of all of the pots, one of the orange ones, is like going dormant, is like it's all dying back. I don't know what's happening. So anyway, cephalotus are a finicky thing. The only thing I can say is I try not to ever spray the leaves with water because you can give them like a white mildewy fungus, which really sucks and can eat away at people's eat away a person's cephalotus. And hello to everybody who's just joining us. So we're 4 minutes in live. Hey Ben, what is my favorite pet? Well, I have a couple bulldogs, English bulldogs. I guess they're my favorite and only pet, unless you count my reef tank, which I don't really look at anymore. Hi from Florida. I'm from your main group. Hi. Hello from St. Louis. I'm getting all your messages. They're going very fast going through the screen though. I wish there was a way to like leave them on a little bit longer. And I'm so cool. Yeah. I don't know if you're being funny there or not. But anyways, I enjoy what I do. Plants are cool. So yeah, the cephalotus anyways, I've said in other videos with cephalotus, here's the thing. There's 100 ways to grow cephalotus and 50 of them are right. And then 50 of them are wrong. So it's like, it doesn't matter about the potting media. It doesn't matter about, some people grow them indoors, some people grow them outdoors, some people grow them in like the greenhouse. I grow them in 3 different locations and they all do good. But what are some nice pictures this time? Pitcher plants, like Nepenthes. My macrophylla is doing pretty good. I had to put my macrophylla down really low. It didn't pitcher for me for like a year, and it was, they really I'm finding with, and you might, if you follow me closely, I've probably said this before, Nepenthes like don't need much light at all compared to what we can possibly give them. So my macrophylla is now down low. It used to be up high, and I moved it down one shelf to about my neck height, my chest height, and I actually moved it down so it's like 30 inches off the ground now on a shelf on the back wall, and it's finally pitching again for me. It's got little tiny pitchers, and it's down there in this mess. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. That's my main macrophylla, and then I have another little one in here. Hello, Antonio. I'm acknowledging you right now because I seen your message on the screen. Sorry for missing everybody else's messages. Feel free to just keep repeating the messages or whatever. And I did see something about what got me into plants. I don't know what got me into plants. I started with orchids when I was like still living at home. Hey, Devin. Yeah, I started with orchids when I was like a kid. So probably, I would say 14 years old, maybe younger. And I remember keeping them in my bedroom. And a Phalaenopsis orchid that long ago was actually still really hard to find. You didn't find them at Walmart or anything like that. And actually that long ago there wasn't even Walmart. So it shows I'm a little older than some of you guys are. But I managed to find a few, and of course I killed my first Phalaenopsis as well. And I had ferns on my window, and it was like, I was down in the basement, and then I had this one long window that was probably only a foot or 18 inches high, but it was quite long. So I had all my plants sitting along there. And I remember some of my first plants, I had a Boston fern, and I would hang it down there. And it did okay, but it constantly needed water, and it constantly dropped its leaves. And then I had one of those mimosa sensitive plants, and I had my orchid, and it had a little palm tree, those, I think they're pony palms or something like that. Again, you find them in like a place like Walmart now. Quite spindly little things, usually 6 in a pot all clumped together. Those are some of my first plants. And then I got into freshwater aquariums and growing like aquarium plants, like Tashiomano sort of style. And I always kept up with my plants on the side, and I always wanted a greenhouse. And once I got the greenhouse, it just exploded from there. So, and I've had my greenhouse for 10 years now. So I've had 10 years to really amass a collection. Okay, so let's read some comments. How many Choose Money Answers do I have? I have one. It's about this big now, finally taken off. Bloody Mary is pretty easy to grow. I think it's Ampullaria and I want to say Titaliensis, but I can't remember. I have some very similar ones over there. It can basically grow anywhere. So have I decorated my indoor grow areas? Dedicated. Have I dedicated them? I have dedicated indoor spaces, yes. Mainly grow tents. I have a greenhouse inside my house as well, just a small one for warmer growing stuff. I have my lowland section over there as well, so stuff like bical cораtas are over here, that sort of thing. Didn't mean to say that, I meant to say my. I missed what you said the first time. What plants are you planning on getting in next year? Planning to get next year. Well, this year I really did a lot with Hoyas. There's Hoyas everywhere, and I also have done a lot with Sarracenia this year. I really got some cool Sarracenias coming up. I got lots and lots in. My Sarracenia collection this year probably quadrupled from previous years. I always had like one little section where I could kind of put Sarracenia along the pond, but I must have got in like 80 different cultivars and stuff like that this year, maybe more, plus thousands of seedlings that I've started that are coming along really nicely. I have some really cool seedlings coming up for Sarracenia, so hoping to get into that. I have some nice good blood now for making my own crosses and stuff like that. So you'll be seeing more Sarracenia in pots, you know. But this year when I got them in, they kind of did half-ass. They didn't really do that good. I get my Nepenthes from Borneo Exotics because I'm the Borneo Exotics dealer for Canada. So most of my plants are Borneo Exotics. Does Sarracenia need sunlight in the winter? They do not necessarily need sunlight in the winter. I have never tried keeping them in the dark in the wintertime though. They take their cues for dormancy with light and temperature, but I've never kept them in the dark. So if you're referring to like keeping them in the fridge, I've heard of people doing it, but I've never had to worry about keeping them in a basement or anything like that for the winter. And if I did keep them in my basement, I would probably put a little plant or a little light over them for like 4 hours. The most difficult plant for me to grow. I don't know. I definitely fail with some plants. I'm trying to like think here. Me and Nepenthes lammy, I don't get along very well, but I'm not sure if that's just like bad clones or what. A lot of times when you grow a plant that's difficult to grow, it can be you just got like a bad plant. So don't let that discourage you. Definitely try again. It's all about getting the right conditions for them. There are some plants I cannot, okay, here's some plants I cannot grow. I cannot grow anything that's like a succulent type plant. I have way too much humidity and they just all melt. So everything here like takes high humidity. If I put a cactus type succulent in here, it just like dies. So I don't even try anymore. But I tried a few years back and just failed miserably. I can't even tell you what kinds I tried. Some of those ones with like the nice flowers, but they smell like rotten fly or rotten meat sort of thing. Dream Nepenthes hybrid. I don't know. That would be a tough one. I don't know about the hybrid. Global warming, I don't know what to think about that either. I don't like snow, so how about 2 more degrees global warming and then we can call it quits? Because then I won't have to worry about snow here anymore. Just kidding for all you global warming people out there who are thumbs downing me right now. But anyways, yeah, I do, yeah, I'm not a winter person, so I'll have summer all the time. I'm actually like, it's December, and I'm gonna show you my legs here because I'm in shorts. See, oops, I'm a summer person, so put that back up now. I wear shorts like all the time because I'm always in the greenhouse. Let's straighten you back up. But then I can't stand the cold. So if I go outside, even though I'm in BC and it's like 10 Celsius outside right now, I have to put on pants. How about my least favorite Nepenthes species or hybrid? I don't think I have a least favorite either. They kind of fall into groups for me where, gosh, I don't know. It's really hard. I'm not a hater. I don't hate plants. It's really hard for me to pick a least favorite. I'm looking around trying to like think of something that is my least favorite. This one here is probably my least favorite that I have. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. That is Hirsuta crosspatulata. I have had that thing for so long, and it's vining from up top there, and it grows really fast for me. But it just it was one of my first Nepenthes I got, and I hate Hirsuta with an H. I don't know. It's not that I even hate it. It's just been there for so long, I take it for granted, I guess. What else can we talk about today? Ooh, somebody had mentioned in Edwardsiana. So my plant is over here. It's looking stunning right now. I just finished filming an Edwardsiana video for you guys. That'll probably be out next week. Not to ruin the surprise or anything. I hate ruining surprises. I try to never let anybody know what's I'm working on at the time. But there's one for you, so you can look forward to that for anybody who wants an Edwardsiana video. What else can I share with you guys? This is a cool plant here. Now I shared this one in my last, if you're just catching up with me, if you've just tuned in or whatever, I was saying I just did a live broadcast for 10 whole minutes, and I'm like, why is nobody here? And it's because I had the thing set to private. So you'll be able to see that video later, where I basically talked to myself. But this is one of the plants I highlighted in this. This is Sibuensis. I like the variegated Nepenthes. I have a few of them. It's called Sibuensis Patch. It's a clone from Borneo Exotics, only made by cuttings. So I've had this guy for nearly, I don't know, since March or whatever. I don't have any Dendrobium little green apples. If I do, I believe they get a dry period, yes. But yeah, this is a cool Nepenthes. I'm looking forward to this guy picturing, because it has variegated pictures as well. And I'll put that guy back. What else? Updates on the Clypeida. It's doing good. I have a couple. It's hanging up. I can probably get that one for you if you guys want to see a Clypeida. Where do I get my Hoya? It disappeared. I get them from, well, I've been growing my own Hoya for many, many years, and if I get anything new, I usually get them from Thailand. I'm right here still. I'm just getting the Clypeida. Maybe. Trying not to trip on my microphone. There it is. So, yeah, wouldn't it be funny if you just heard a big crash and I never came back and it was just live still? Yeah, it's doing good. I think it's going to start to vine really soon. The node length is getting much longer in the last year or so, and I keep like hoping for a flower spike, but nothing so far. But yeah, it's starting to get big. It's 9:11 p.m. Hi, Katie. Any more Hoya next year? Yes. I have lots of new Hoya next year. Ones you've never seen before that I've sold. You've probably seen them before. I don't sell any seeds. And I've seen something about the US. I don't sell in the US. So, yeah. Anyways, you guys want to see this. So, this is one of my top favorite Nepenthes. I have 3 of them now. And this one is, of course, the biggest. I'm just going to go and hang this guy back up so you guys can just sort of entertain yourself here for a second. It takes a little longer to hang things up sometimes than it does to take down. But I don't want it to, like, I don't want to forget to hang it up or anything like that. There we go, I'm back. Whew, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? I didn't miss anything? Okay. What else can I show you guys? I showed you, you missed it in my like live broadcast that was set to private. I had a nice spiel about Hoya linearis and its care. So check out the live broadcast that I will be set to public if it isn't already. And it'll, don't check it out yet though. Wait for this to be done. But yeah, there's some Hoya linearis care in there. Thoughts on peltata? What are my thoughts on peltata? I have a couple of them up there. I don't know what to. I like it. It grows really slowly. So I do have orchids in bloom. Let's see. Where can I find an orchid? Here's the closest orchid in bloom. Oops, he was under the camera. And can you come speak at the Fraser Valley Orchid one day? I don't do a lot of public speaking, believe it or not. I always seem to turn down the public speaking at shows and stuff. It is just so hard for me to find the time to like travel around. Honestly, once the weather warms up, I'm just so busy. But yeah, so this guy here, Masdevallia snowbird. And I love this Masdevallia. It's like the Torvensis, I think that's how you pronounce it. It has a bit of a smell, and it's just really easy. Here's another spike coming out on it. Torvensis, Torvensia, however you say it, I had before, like the pure species, and I could never do much with it. Too bad lots of members have seen your videos. I just caught the last of that comment. I know, I wish I had. Biggest mistake I'll get to in a second, I have to think about it. I do own Bocorensis as well. I try to own everything if I can. But yeah, as for shows, it's just really hard. So being on Vancouver Island, it's so hard to catch the ferry, go to the mainland, go to the shows. I have to stay overnight. It's just not really cost effective for me to do that. I have to put everything else on hold and that sort of thing. So I try to do most of my speaking here in the greenhouse when I have a little bit extra time like I do today, or a couple times a week. My uploads right now are going to be more than in the summertime because I'm just so busy. How should a 600 watt LED be for compact fluorescent? It depends what the 600 watts for CP. It's 600 watts is a lot of light for some and not enough light for others. It depends how far away it is from the source and kind of what brand it is too. Biggest mistake. My biggest mistake was not building my greenhouse big enough. It's felt big at the time, but when you build your greenhouse, make sure you build your greenhouse 10 times bigger than you think you need. And yeah, go from there. The only thing with that is if I do have videos on sowing Nepenthes seeds. They're not overly popular, so you have to search my channel for Nepenthes seeds. I probably won't be doing another one for a while. But yeah, the only thing you got to worry about with bigger greenhouse is how you heat the bigger greenhouse. So then if you ask yourself, how am I going to heat this bigger greenhouse? Then you should probably go with a smaller greenhouse. I do not do Snapchat. No, I don't. I do Facebook, I do Instagram. I just started a Twitter account that I think has 3 followers on it. So I don't even know how to like Twitter, but I did it. So there we go. I'm on those 3 things. But YouTube is where I spend 90% of my time. I do the YouTube, and then everything sort of spreads out from there. Biggest mistake. Oh yeah, we covered the biggest mistake because that was not building the bigger greenhouse. Tips on organizing. Yeah, square pots, lots of shelves. Most people have like one shelf that they work on. I have plants on the 4 inches off the floor, 2 feet off the floor, 4.5 feet off the floor. I have like layers of plants, which means I have to do also lights, and everything's in square pots. So that's going to have 10K tomorrow. What's that? First time in your stream. Hey, I don't do many streams, and when I do streams, I don't have time to like announce or organize them. So welcome. I'm glad you guys caught it. Most of my streams, they all get uploaded later anyways, and it's amazing how many people will watch my stream later, like even if it's like months later, and they'll watch it months later and they'll still be like, hi, like it's new, because they don't realize that it's not live at the time, because I kind of speak as if it's live, right? It doesn't change. So I have used ladybugs in the past for biological control, but I have a pretty integrated pest management system, and I haven't seen an aphid for a ladybug in quite a while, so I don't really have to worry about that. It's all scheduled maintenance now, and I can keep everything pretty clean in here. So I do own Maxillaria tenuifolia, and I think I have it in moss, but I have it in moss because sometimes I forget to water, and the moss lets me go longer without water. And you might have to repeat that comment. I seen something about, whoa, a picture above my head. I don't know which picture above my head. There's too many of them. I don't know what's on camera this. But yeah, so I put a lot of stuff in like pretty heavy moss that would, like, most people would like rot the roots, but it's because I can then water it, and I don't have to water it for like a much longer time, and it's so humid in here that it just sort of slowly dries out, but not too fast. So I've switched a lot of things over to moss, where I used to be on like bark all the time, like mainly bark, but now I'm mainly moss. It should be at Brad's greenhouse, my Twitter. Maybe that's why nobody can find me. I don't have any Utricularia videos coming up, but I did in my last live feed that I did for 10 minutes on private. I talked a little bit about Utricularia sandersonii. So being nobody was here because it was private, I was just like basically doing a video as if I was just filming without it being live. Just kind of talking about this and that, and yeah, Utricularia sandersonii came up mainly because it's like right below me and in bloom. What's the best time to cut off a basil shoot on Nepenthes? I leave them as long as I possibly can. Don't get too eager to cut those things off. If you cut them off too soon, the plant may not die, but it's going to take just like months or years to like establish itself on its own and grow roots. So just like, don't be impatient. Just if you see something, like, just let it be in the same pot for a long time. You're better off if it's basiling, it has a basil shoot on it, you're better off to like cut the tip and root that. And quick, let's plant at Dub. Quick plants at Dove. Hey Brad, sending some love from the gardens. Hey, how's it going, Harav? You found me live. That's funny. So yeah, that's my advice on those. Just like patience for everything, especially Nepenthes. Nepenthes is like the long-term game. Do I keep my phalaenopsis in moss or bark? So if I'm in the house, I put my phals in moss because it lasts longer and I don't water very often. If it's in the greenhouse here, now my phals, basically most of them are stuck to the walls and stuff like that. I'm gonna kind of pull one down. I grow them in, they kind of end up like this. So they don't do well in the greenhouse. I don't know why. I've been, maybe it's because I don't water them enough, but the roots just go crazy and they're uncontrollable. And phals are phals are aggressive orchids. I'm gonna, let's see if I can, I can't even unstick them. I'm gonna take you on a tour for phals, just a quick one. This is why they're, I don't still coffee fert because I just have too many plants to take the time to do it. But here's my phals. Here's one in bloom. We're on a front-facing camera, so I can't really see where it's facing, right? But this is the potting mix for it. This is my potting. The pot is just like gone. The roots are everywhere. It's not in media at all. This is for the question a minute ago where, what do I pot my phals in? It's growing to the greenhouse and wrapping around. So they like grow everywhere in the greenhouse. So yeah, they burst out of the pot. And then unfortunately I grow my phals. They're on the warm side, but they're right over the heater, so it's really dry over there, just like over the heater. I have fish. Yes, I have a reef tank with just a few fish in. I'm just dancing with my mic cord because it got tangled in my foot. Do I have a standard Nepenthes mix? Yes, I do. It is, I put my mixes out the door for now because I didn't trip on them. It's probably 75% sphagnum moss, and then I have I sway. So I guess it's not, I don't have a standard mix, but I have been using a lot of perlite and less bark because I find the bark starts to break down after a few years, but perlite does not. Nepenthes can go quite a while without repotting because they like an acidic mix. So unlike orchids that don't naturally grow in sphagnum moss, we use it. And sphagnum moss is acidic, so you're always trying to repot the orchids because the media gets too acidic. Nepenthes naturally grow in acidic conditions, so the sphagnum moss can last for quite a while. But if you put the bark in, then the bark starts to rot and kind of breaks down the process, and it happens faster. So myself, most of the time I use this these days, sphagnum and perlite, quite a bit of perlite, like 25% perlite, so it's like pretty airy. How do you get rid of aphids? Well, is that what that was? I think it was aphids. Ladybugs are a good way. I have that mix that I have mentioned in some of my videos. That's 50% water, 50% isopropyl alcohol, and a teaspoon of Dawn dish soap, and shake it up. And you can spray that on most plants. It's pretty safe to use as an aphid spray. Aphids, it's pretty easy. The alcohol dries them, and then the Dawn dish soap, it's got to be the Blue Dawn. I don't know why, but it just does. And the Dawn removes the waxy coating, so it dries them out and helps them evaporate, and they just like die. And the Dawn leaves this film on the plants. Just, you can't even see it, but it's there. I have to get some coffee here because my throat's starting to go. The Dawn leaves a coating on the leaves, which prevents other aphids or pests from like getting to it, and it works as a leaf shine too. And I have something in my coffee. I'm just getting over sort of a funny cold from the last week, so all this talking is kind of bugging my throat a bit. I have some Cymbidium orchids. One was in my last video. Would that work on mealybugs too? It would. I honestly don't have a lot of experience treating mealybugs at all. They're just not something, I'm lucky, I'm blessed, I don't have to worry much about, or I don't worry much about them because they just don't happen for me. I would pick off any mealybugs you can see, and then yeah, you could use that and treat in there. It's not systemic or anything, so but it would work. It would coat the plants. The mealybugs wouldn't be able to penetrate the leaf as easily because there's a thin layer of that Dawn dish soap. The blue stuff, as I say, that's what they use like in oil slicks to like clean animals and seabirds and stuff. I don't know what it is about Blue Dawn, but it's good stuff. Google uses for Blue Dawn, and you'll find like 101 uses for Blue Dawn other than doing dishes. I missed the last comments. So if you guys want to repeat comments, you can. Otherwise, anybody who's watching this and it's not live or whatever, remember to subscribe to my channel, all that kind of YouTube stuff. When you have a Derosa that suddenly is in decline, same conditions as all the rest. Derosas just sometimes do that. Some of them are annual, some of them are biannual, some of them something happened. A lot of times if they die off at the top, they come back from the roots, so make sure you don't throw that pot out or anything like that. And yeah, how are we doing here? We're going on 30 minutes of live this time. 33 minutes of live, plus my 10 minutes of live that I did by myself. Lots of people can't keep phals alive. Yeah, it's they're tough, but so my phals, I have better luck in the house. My phals honestly grow in my bathroom. It's dry in there. I forget about them in there, but they just do better. I think with the heat right there, they just don't do well. Maybe it's too bright in the summertime over there too, so they kind of cook. But yeah, my biggest Nepenthes, I don't know which my biggest is. I have a Sibuensis that's on the floor here that has like 3 vines that's like up above my head here. It's probably 15 feet long. I think that my Sibuensis is one of my first as well. Do I grow Cypripediums, non-hybrids? I think I have a couple. They don't do well for me. I have them outside with all the rest, and they always kind of, the hybrids are so vigorous that I'm repotting them and dividing them all the time, and the species just kind of stay still. They come up with 1 or 2 the next year, but yeah. Do I have Nepenthes? I have more Nepenthes hybrids or species. Well, I like to collect the species just to maintain the species, right? So I would say I personally probably have more species, but I have tons of hybrids and stuff because they're cheaper and they sell better because species are so hard to propagate easily, so they always have a higher price to them. So I do have tons of hybrids around me. Oh, they're harder to keep. I wish I could like figure out these. I'm poking the screen now. I wish I could figure out how to keep these comments on longer, but I can't. Oh, there we go. Fowls are no harder than keeping reptiles, but you have to figure out pretty well. Yeah, I've been keeping fowls for a long time, and again, it's just I think I forget to water them over there, and they have no pseudobulbs, and the dry heat over there just like cooks them, and they don't stay in the media. So crazy fowls. They're all over, even in my bathroom. Cause the roots just kind of go everywhere. What else? I have a very small train of thought. So if I kind of started answering your comment a second ago and I haven't continued, I probably have forgot all about it. You like Windows series? Plans for more videos on that? Yeah, I try to do like a Windows sales update every 6 months or so. What kind of seeds? My greenhouse is 100% humidity anyways, or almost. It's like 85%. And I have been keeping a few in seeds or in I left you guys, sorry. Here's something I'm trying with Nepenthes seeds. Thank you. Okay. Well, here is my latest batch of seeds. So my latest batch of Nepenthes seeds. I don't know if you can see that. There's not many in there, but these are pure Rob Kentley seeds that I have the female plant, and a buddy of mine in the States there sent me pollen from his male Rob Kentley, and we managed to get some seeds growing. So that was kind of cool. So that's my latest seeds that I sowed, and they're doing quite well. But stuff gets like Nepenthes seeds grow so slowly, the moss grows faster. It is long sphagnum or long fiber sphagnum moss, yeah. The moss tends to outgrow the seeds, so I thought by keeping it in the bag, maybe I can keep it a little bit cleaner. And I sterilize the moss before I start in the microwave. I think I figured out how to like pull up comments again. Arranged plant marriage, yes, exactly what it was. In Florida, I was wondering about recommendations for what? Toronto, hi, how's it going? What's the most economical way to build a greenhouse in the backyard? Depends what you want to keep. So if you want to keep Sarracenia, the most economical way is like just do a hoop house. If you want to keep lowland Nepenthes outside in Toronto, it's going to be a whole other world. Orchids, again, it's going to depend if you want Masdevallias or Vandas, but you're going to have to heat it. It's going to be expensive. Go with, I wouldn't cheap out on the polycarbonate. Just go with at least an 8 mil poly and seal it up tight. Make sure you silicone all the cracks and everything like that. Keep it as contained as possible. And I'd be scared to have a greenhouse in like, I don't know what zone Toronto is. It's probably like zone 5. But anyways, you gotta get cold there. So I'm happy with my 8B, or if we go back to global warming like we started with, hopefully I'll be at 9A pretty soon. I think I already am. Do I sell any of my plants? Yes, I do. If you're in Canada, I have a sales website of the same name, Brad's Greenhouse. Recommendations for carnivorous plants. Huh. Yeah, I like the emojicon there because I recommend all carnivorous plants. The more you have, the happier you will be in your life. Have I ever had a system fail in the greenhouse? All the time. But I have backup systems, and I have backup systems for the backup systems, so they don't fail. Right now in the greenhouse, I have 4 different heaters. I have alarms that go off on my phone, by email, by text message. I have alarms that go off at the side of my bed at nighttime if something happens. And if the power goes out, I have gas-powered heaters. I have generators and everything else. You guys are still there because I just like closed it. If you guys went away for a second, hopefully you're back. How automated is my greenhouse? My greenhouse is very automated. It does everything. Hi, I see Cobra lilies. You just keep reminding me about Cobra lilies, okay? I see it there, but keep reminding me because I will forget. My greenhouse is very automated. The lights are all on timers. The what else is on timers? The humidity is on sensors, so it goes automatically, and it's like self-plumbs, so I never have to like fill a chamber or anything for humidity. It can just run forever. My dripper system, all the plants above me, I never ever have to water because they all have individual hoses in them, so they water for me. What else? Just for automatically increasing my humidity in the greenhouse. The more plants you have, the more humid it's going to be. And I have 2 hydrofoggers in here, one for each side of the greenhouse. They work really well on a humidistat. You need to make sure you can control the humidity. As for other automation, yeah, I mean, it's all automated. In the summertime, it's automated air conditioning. In the winter, it's automated heat. My Ventrata is way down in that corner, and then I think it goes all the way up to the roof, along the edge of the roof, behind you guys. Through it, punched like a hole through the wall, and it's now in the like warm side of the greenhouse. Do I ever have multiple individual controls? Do I have multiple individual controls? I have multiple individual controls. And so everything, believe it or not, there's a lot of like smart switches in here, and everybody goes, how come they don't die? And it's just because they're protected from the water. Humidity doesn't bother things as long as it's not wet. I've never lost a smart switch. I said in the last video, the one that was live, Cobra lilies, I see you. I see it. I said in the last video, like, I've never lost a light. I've never lost a smart switch. The only thing I ever lose in here is fans. They hate it. What relative humidity is too high for carnivorous plants? Relative humidity is too high for carnivorous plants is when they are wet. So it's 85% humidity in here right now, but my plants are dry. So when for humidity, I prefer, like, the hydrofogger doesn't get stuff wet. It adds humidity to the air, but it's not a misting system. There's not water falling on the plants all the time. I think every single plant in here is dry to the touch. My greenhouse is 10 by 18. What would you like to know about Cobra lilies? I seen a question about Cobra lilies here. What would we like to know? Farley's, ants, fish, and... I can't bring your comment back up. I'm now waiting for the Cobra lily question. I don't have any here to show you. We're on greenhouse. How do we care for them? That's a huge question. I have a playlist for Cobra lilies that have documented my Cobra lily care for like years. Hi from Germany, hello. I have documented them for years, from me getting my first ones to like them growing up. I used to keep them in my stream in my pond to keep them cool. I kept them in white containers. I show repotting of them. I do have a lot of Cobra lily videos, but you gotta search a playlist for Cobra lilies, and they should be there. And my coffee's gone and my throat is going. Bear with me here. Hello everybody that just commented. The Deces are down here. Nothing is in bloom right now, and they're in desperate need of repotting. No plans for many heli videos coming up anytime soon, but I can show you one now. If I can get it out. Here's my McDonaldier. How do you say that? McDonaldier. I don't know. I do not ship to the States, unfortunately. Beautiful plant. Definitely one of my favorite right now. Definitely does not seem to be multiplying in any way. It grows well, but can I show more plants on the cam? Or bring a ventricosa, please. My ventricosa, there's one right there. But most of my ventricosa are actually inside. I keep them. I don't keep them in the greenhouse for whatever reason. Our clones in tissue culture. Oops, I almost closed the app again. I'm just trying to like scroll up. I do not ship to the UK, unfortunately. I do have Scarcochilus in my collection. It's very neglected, and I'm bringing it up now. Bear with me. Here it is. It needs some love. It was just blooming not too long ago. See, I can clean it up on camera. But I prefer to just grow everything in like the air. It doesn't even need like media anymore for these things. They just kind of grow. And it's been the 45-minute mark now, so I'm going to give you a warning. Like I give my 5-year-old, 5 more minutes, guys, and then it's time to go. That's parenting 101. Make sure you always give your children a 5-minute warning, because if they get caught off guard, they get upset. So 5-minute warning. Just kidding. And I missed all those comments because I was like putting the orchid back down. So if I scroll up, I like turn off the app. Show us one of my favorite Nepenthes. Most of my Nepenthes are pretty stationary these days. It's really hard. Let's see. What can I show you that's looking good right now? My Edward Sienna I think is one of my favorites. But it's a stationary plant now. I can't move it. Let's see if I can get this guy down. I don't know if he can still see me or not see me. Oh, nope. That guy's wrapped around too. Like, there's another one that's just turned stationary. Just because of his picture. It's like through the wire of another plant. I was going to like show you my Rob Cantley Hamata. Pretty nice up there. This is one of my favorites. It's not stationary yet. Bear with me here. I did a video on this guy not too long ago. This is my Burbidgii. So this guy's pretty good. He's getting to be a good size. And pretty pictures on it. Man, when I went up to get that one plant, got some stuff in my eye. But anyways, yeah, that's one of my favorite plants. And I gotta hang them up. In a terrarium, what carnivorous plants would you recommend putting together? Nothing that's temperate. So no Venus flytraps, no Sarracenias. I would try to, Nepenthes and sundews can go pretty good together as long as you're like doing like just sort of a room temperature tank. Terrariums are hard. And it's again one of those things I have the luxury of like I've never had a carnivorous plant terrarium. They've always been bigger scale. How do I keep my humidity so high and not have mold issues? I bleach down the walls every 6 months or so. I don't get mold so much as I get algae on the walls. If you can see behind me, maybe, there's like a green tint on the walls. It's algae. It's dry right now, but it sometimes grows. So I have algae that grows. It's weird. And the only time I get black mold is on the Nepenthes pictures because they secrete like a sugary nectar, and the mold attacks the sugary nectar as the plant starts to fade. So I think as long as you keep everything clean, but yeah, I can't see any mold issues or I can't recall having any to deal with any mold. Hello, I missed it. I love you, and I love you too. In a terrarium, what carnivorous plants would you recommend putting together? Again, it's hard with the terrarium. I would try to keep like species together. Have a sundew terrarium, have a Nepenthes terrarium, but just don't try to mix them too much. What is a good photo period for Nepenthes? Naturally, they get about 12 hours of light. They're right on the equator, so somewhere between 12 and 14 hours is good. Now, keep in mind, out in the wild, in situ, they might get 12 or 14 hours of light, but they might only get like a few hours of direct sunlight, and then it's like really shaded after that, or they might not get any hours of direct sunlight. So with our lighting, so much more light falls on the plants during a 16-hour photo period than they would receive in the wild. So in the greenhouse here, most of my plants, like above me, have no lighting whatsoever. Most of my plants don't. And in the summertime, they get 16 hours. And in the wintertime, right now we have like 8 hours and 20 minutes of light. And my greenhouse is in such that it gets like a few hours of sunlight in the afternoon if it's sunny. Here on the west coast, we don't get a lot of sunny days this time of year anyways. Did you take horticulture school? No, I did not take horticultural school at all. It's research, research, research. I read and I read and I read and I internet and I internet and I internet, and I have the luxury of trying, and I'm successful 95% of the time. I really am, but I have the space to just be able to try. And once I find the plant and its microclimate that it needs, then I have tons of microclimates that that make it easy to grow stuff. Again, as long as it's humidity loving stuff. Is it good if a Nepenthes leaf turns red? That generally means, red leaves mean, yeah, you have too much light. I don't like seeing red Nepenthes leaves. Here's a plant I might be able to show you. So I hooked up a LED up here. I'm not going to mention brand names in this one because they would like it, and I'm just not going to do that for them right now. But I put up a light up here, and I am just grabbing this plant here. This is a nice one too. It's just not looking as good right now, and I think some of it's because of the light. So here is my Hamada Rob Cantley. It's nice. It was like the one I was going to show you up there, but the reverse cross. So you can see how green this is. It needs a trim because it hasn't come down in a while. So it needs its pitchers trimmed off of it. Sometimes I feed the pitchers like an Osmocote pellet, which kills it as well. But bear with me here. I'm getting to the light part. So this is facing the window, we'll say, of the greenhouse. This is what's facing the light. And it's not under the light. It's probably 2 feet beside the light and like 6 inches below it, but the light's coming off to the side. And look at that. Look what it's done to my leaves. So I hate that when the leaves go red like that. And that is just from too much light. No light, too much light. And then if a leaf grows in too much light, it gets nice and red. And if a leaf doesn't grow in too much light, and say you first acquire a Nepenthes and it hasn't been used to that much light, it'll go ugly blotchy instead. Like it gets burns on it because it hasn't got it isn't used to it yet. So anyways, that's what I think of too much light. I don't like it. So I'll hang this guy back up, but I hate him being there because it just makes him look kind of not so nice. Lots of dead pitchers on him. Some nice basil shoots on the top though. So I'm going to leave these basil shoots basically forever, and then there'll be 3 plants in that pot instead of just 1. And just hanging this back up here, and I got to get the watering system back in it, because if I don't put the watering back in, I'll never remember to, and then I might kill my plant there. So anyways, guys, that's pushing on an hour, and we are going to stop this before the hour mark. I don't even know how long YouTube lets me live broadcast. Is it bubble wrap, or is the normal stuff reinforced? I don't know. Comes on a big roll, like 4-foot roll. So anyways, I hope you like this, and I know all of you guys, I don't even have to say it for you guys because you guys are all subscribed to me already, but anybody new watching this weeks and months down the road, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell for the all notifications, because it was amazing. I was looking through my analytics, and I found that only 11% of my subscribers have got that little bell notification tucked in. And YouTube says there's only supposed to be like 10 to 20% of people, like that's the average, 10 to 20%. So I'm in the average, but yeah. So that was for the new people, not for you guys. And anyways, I cannot ship to the US. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next time. Bye for now. There's a new video coming out tomorrow too, just in case you're bored. So talk to you later. Bye guys.